Yeah, I wanted to get your opinion on something and see if you would be down to go this direction for this session. You know that Mama Swizzle is like fully taken over now by this evil entity with unknown knowledge and all that, and is about to fight Ananias and QZ, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking I was going to give you what you want, and you can fight them, and you can fight them if you want, and you're going to give you control if you want, and you can fight them, just for the fun of it. And I have a whole stat sheet. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine. It'd be fun. An interesting PvP, a little bit of it. That's fine, because I mean that is a bit of work. But I think it would be fun, and it would be kind of an interesting PvP, a little bit of a challenge where you're basically running bad guy, and I could just kind of sit back and delegate a little bit. But I think it could be a really interesting fight, kind of like just because of the location you guys are at, which I will give you a little more information about if you choose to partake of this. And all the items that Mama Swizzle's collected are basically still in a little bag strapped to this thing's back, so you'll kind of have access to kind of give Mama Swizzle one last hurrah and blow all your cool items you never got to use before, and also waste them so that, the party will be like, oh man, why didn't we take them and use them earlier? Because now they're being used against us. Yeah, so I don't know, I just think it would be really interesting and funny, and it would certainly be a surprise to the other players. So you wouldn't be playing the Doctor this session, you'd be playing Mama Swizzle. And
I'm
I'd probably take the whole session, but I just think it would be fun. And you'll probably die at the end of it, or maybe not, maybe you'll win, I don't know, honestly. It's okay if you want to, like, lay into them as hard as you can and try to win, like the bad guy would. And if they go down, we'll just see how it happens. So I would just say play it as it goes. What do you think?
All right, I like it.
Okay, cool. And I mean, I'll still be the DM, so I still got contingency plans and secrets that I can't reveal to you. But so yeah, it might not be as simple as smack him in the face and then guess QZ's dead now. But yeah, here I will send you a beautiful thing that I have prepared. Take a quick look and see what you think. This is not all the information you'll need, but it's mostly the information you'll need as far as running this character. Mama Swizzle, but different. It basically just has.
I got a white sheet.
What?
Yep, just white.
Certainly shouldn't be. That's odd. Can you share your screen with me?
Yeah.
I can only imagine it would be a permissions thing, but I don't know why that would be. That's really weird. Reload page, it doesn't look like it works properly. What the heck? Yeah, it's not loading anything. You'd think if it was a permission issue, it would at least load something, but your browser is just not cooperating.
Right.
What if you view that link from your phone or something?
I think I have Edge on this.
Yay, your browser's been updated.
Swallows?
Moma Swolls.
Mama Swallows. Am I going to try to do a factory voice? Mama Swallows.
Whatever you want. Yeah, that sounds creepy. I like it. As far as communication goes, though, I was going to have you be kind of a mindless beast a little bit. So, like, there might be a little bit of Mama Swizzle left in there as she's, like, kind of fighting for control with this otherworldly entity, but it'll mostly be kind of, like, a new creature. So it's not really Mama Swizzle, even though there might still be a little
because
bit.
Because it's Mama Swallows.
Yeah. So it's mostly kind of the influence of... I wouldn't say it is the Unknown Raven, or the Raven Queen, whatever you want to call her. It's not directly being puppeteered by her. It's kind of like a mindless new beast, like hulking out, that's kind of been formed by her influence. But because it's been granted life and a little bit of knowledge by her, she can kind of give information, which I will give to you, about certain items that you might find in Mama Swizzle's bag, and the location itself, which would give you a competitive edge against the other players who don't know what the heck's happening.
Okay, so I'd like to know what the cloak does, because I have no clue.
I see, okay, cool.
Yeah, I want to use that against them.
Yes, so the cloak, how it works is, and the Raven Queen will basically tell you this, anytime you take one of those patches and you rip it off the cloak, it will spawn that item, basically.
Okay.
So say you take the patch that is a hole, and you rip that off the cloak and just toss that patch on the ground, poof, suddenly there's a 10-foot pit that your enemies might fall into. Or if you take the metal iron door, it can kind of expand behind you and secure itself to the wall, and it can walk past it up to 10 feet, which, maybe you could separate Ananias and QC. I feel like that's a little mean, because then you would just be wailing on one of them, and the other one would be able to help. I don't know. So that's good strategy, but maybe a little too, TPK-y.
Well, if you don't want me to do it, I won't do it. Otherwise, I'll think like a bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say, honestly, do whatever you want. If you do manage to do that, it would freaking scare the heck out of them. I'm sure they would find some way to overcome it, like maybe knock the hinges off. So I'd say, yeah, if you want to use it, go for it. I would be scared for their survival, but yeah, I guess go for it. Hopefully they'll find some way around it. Or maybe they have a way to teleport that I'm forgetting about. Or maybe they could stealth away. Anyway, that's pretty much the only information that you would get from, like, extra knowledge of the Raven Queen, other than if you're looking at the parchment that Mama Swizzle never identified. She just kind of shoved it in her bag. You found it in Kobol's ash. She would be able to identify that through your eyes and be like, oh, use that. That's a lightning bolt spell, and you can just kind of trigger that and basically cast a one-time use lightning bolt spell, which is listed in the sheet a little lower if you scroll. Yeah, the second to last bullet point on the page. And then they also list all the patches that are on your cloak, just so you don't have to go hunting elsewhere to find it. Basically, all the information you're going to need to run this character is on this page. And other important things to note when you're being this character are, if you...
wait, 1 second. You say the cloak of mantra, but it ends with following ...
Yes. For some reason, when I loaded the page, it didn't scroll over to the next page, but look at the top right of this page. No, like, scroll up. It just kind of flowed over to the next column for some reason. That doesn't happen on my end. Maybe I can adjust it a little bit so it doesn't happen. 1 second.
You said that it's supposed to tell me what all the patches do?
Yeah. Look at the little box there. That just shows
this is a patch. Okay.
Yes. So, yeah, you have a patch that can spawn a 10-foot pole, a 50-foot rope, a sack. That probably won't help, but you have it. A dagger, a lantern, all that good stuff. The window is cool because it can kind of, if you have a flat surface, you can create a window in it that could break through the wall or something.
Is it a action to rip off and activate one of these, or a...
Probably. Let me check. I'll
Because it would suck to say, hey, I want to rip off a potion thing, and then I can't use the potion until next turn.
Yeah, let me check. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's an action to detach from the patches, causing it to become the thing. But you can, I would say it's only one action to rip the patch off and throw it, or create the thing if it's like you're tossing a pit or you're creating a door or whatever. So while ripping off the patch and having it create 4 potions of healing is cool, you would still need to then use a second action to actually do your healing later. I would say it's a bonus action to use a healing potion, by the way. So maybe you could consume 2 of them in 1 round if you really needed to. Or if you wanted to be nice, you could leave that patch for later, and then the other players could use that after the battle. But it's not like they seem to care too much about healing anyway these days. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's everything you need to know. Oh, one thing I should point out to you is you have damage resistances to a lot of different types of damage. So bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical weapons, which is basically any standard punch or weapon slash or whatever.
Pretty much anything QC throws at me.
Yeah, more than likely any attack from QC is going to trigger that resistance, which doesn't mean you don't take the damage. It just means that the damage is halved. So even though you only have 52 hit points, they might last longer than you'd expect. So in reality, maybe it's more like 100 hit points if most of the attacks
I'm immune to poison. I'm immune to exhaustion, petrification. I can see in the dark. False appearance. While a gargoyle remains motionless, it's indistinguishable from an animated statue. Inanimate statue.
I just thought of something cool that you could use that for. I was going to think in most situations that won't really matter because you're going to be in combat with them, so you can't just like stand still and they'll be like, oh, where'd it go? Oh, look at that weird statue. But I'm not going to give away anything. Anyway, so last thing you need to know, assuming you're comfortable with that, you don't have any questions. Okay, so this place that you guys are in, this mansion that opened up to that secondary location of the shrine, the mansion itself is magical and has some very old magic associated with it. So even though it's ruined... Sorry. Join you.
Okay, I heard the mansion itself is magical, but beyond that, started talking.
Yeah, so remember how there was a doorway that was just in the field and opened up to this mansion?
Yeah.
And there was a second door in that mansion that led to this little shrine place. So the mansion itself is magical and has some like deep old lore connected to it. But the other locations, for example, the shrine and the hill that you guys entered from, I mean, not you, but QC, they're nice. The other locations don't have this property, but the mansion itself, if you're opening up one of these doors in the mansion to like see where that place goes, if you're kind of imagining a place that you want to go, this mansion will create a door to there, and it can be really anywhere. So you could open a door to a volcano, you could open a door to some ancient crypt that's never been seen before, you could go to the Arctic and battle on a like icy lake. So really, if you're kind of trying to manipulate the battle in your favor, so you're not just fighting in a circular room the whole time, you could kind of like the Raven Queen will be like, hey, there's deep magic hidden here, open the door and choose a better place to fight. You could go fight anywhere that you feel like would be fun, and I as the DM will be scrambling a little bit to make that happen. But yeah, any place you want to just say, hey, I open a door to blah, and then that happens. So as long as you don't get stranded there, yeah, it would be fun, and it'll be a pretty interesting dynamic battle. It should be fun. What do you think?
Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
If I can trick them to walk through a door that goes into a volcano.
Yeah, I mean, you can just kind of like barely crack the door open, and since you're opening the door, it'll trigger the magical link between that location, and then you don't have to be the one to actually open the door fully and go through it. You can try to shove someone else in.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, there are some limitations with that, but I'll work with you as we're going. And the other players they probably won't pick up on how it works, like their characters probably won't. But you never know. Maybe they'll end up using this power too, and I don't know. It just should be super interesting. I'm just excited to kind of sit back and watch you guys battle each other for a bit. Not because I'm not ready for the other towns or anything yet, although that's part of it, but also just because this situation is happening now, and I see a cool opportunity, so may as well use it, right?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're down to do this, and I hope you don't mind not doing the doctor for a bit.
Oh, that's fine.
Cool.
Okay. I was wondering how we were going to go about the gargoyle swizzle.
Yeah. I thought about originally not having you have control over her, and I was like, well, it's still Mama Swizzle, kind of, so may as well give you one last chance to be your character before they meet their fate or whatever happens here. Even if it ends up with you just defeating them and then going off to the sunset, or I don't know how I'll handle that. We shall see, I suppose. Anyway.
If I do manage to kill one, I am going to hold back on the last one.
For what reason? Just
the fact that I don't want to OTK the group.
Yeah. What? Okay, just bear with me here. If you did defeat both of them, what would you do? Okay. What would your character do afterward?
Which character?
What would you want to do? Your either Mama Swizzle or the thing that she's fighting, like both of you together. What would you do? Maybe you could just argue that Mama Swizzle kind of manages to hold the creature back and instead of finishing them off. But on the other hand, it is a little cheap to say, oh well, we don't go for the kill. So I would say if you do manage to defeat them, yeah, you can try to kill them both. But what's the goal then? Are you, as a mindless beast, are you interested in robbing them of their stuff, or are you just gonna kind of leave their corpses there and go off? What do you want to do after that? I guess kind of that might be informed by the Raven Queen. So maybe I would have to inform you that. Let's say let's say that your goal here is just to eliminate, like, the reason that you're fighting these people is to eliminate people who know about Mama Swizzle's connection with the Raven Queen, so that there are no witnesses about the new vessel that she has to patrol the world with.
Okay.
And if there's no one else alive who knows the situation, then cool. You can just wander off and you don't need the items that they have, you don't need anything else. Yeah.
So, kill the party, wander off to sunset.
Pretty much, that's the goal. Although, the Raven Queen would definitely rather you stay alive and leave the witnesses rather than die in the process of trying to get rid of the witnesses. So if you get, like, pretty low, like maybe 25% of your health left, and you're like looking like you might not make it, and they're too strong, you can still try. You can use any method necessary to try to flee instead, or yeah, just pretend like I don't know, hide somewhere if you'd like instead.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a bit of a lamer way to go, especially if the party's like, oh, but it's Mama Swizzle, we can't kill him. Because if you get away, the party loses all of the items and gold and whatever that Mama Swizzle had, so that would be a little sad, especially for harming with the sword that was meant for her. All that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I say we just play it out, see how it goes. Worst that happens is, you know, everybody dies. But I think I don't think you're powerful enough to take them both out. I mean, I did buff you quite substantially from what a typical, like, gargoyle would be in D&D, but there are 2 characters facing you. I don't know, challenge rating doesn't really make sense in this game, so I really don't know. You might be able to kill him, you might not. Specifically because QZ can't damage you as much as you might be able to damage him. It might be a little unbalanced in that regard, but I'm hoping... Because QZ's also, like, I tried to give him magic items, and he's rejected most of them, so...
Because he doesn't believe in magic!
Yeah, so you and Ananias have way more, like, cool stuff than he does, and he's just kind of monk man. So he's gonna need to be really creative to, like, I guess, actually use the environment to his advantage to take you down or something. I don't know, this could be actually really unbalanced towards him. Maybe I'll rebalance the stats a little bit here. I'll adjust your damage a little bit, because I did boost your damage more than I probably should have, in addition to boosting a couple other things at the same time. Let me adjust it to, say, instead of 3d4 piercing damage for the axe, and... yeah, we'll just say 2d4 plus 3 piercing damage on the axe. Maybe that'll be enough. I don't know. I just work here. I just run the entire universe for this D&D. I don't know how this is gonna go. I hope that it's balanced. I don't know. Because half the time you guys wipe the floor with these encounters, and half the time, you get absolutely destroyed, and I'm like, oh, you might die. I mean, the dice have been very much on your side, but... oh well, we'll just see how this goes. I guess main goal is try to have fun, so I will... and like I said, death is not the end, so it's not the worst thing in the world if you do kill one of them. But, yeah, I hope that doesn't happen just from a making sure everyone has fun kind of perspective, but we will see how it goes. Yeah, that's all I had. Thanks for humoring me.
Yep.
Cool, see you at the session.
Yep, see ya. It's a cat!
Hello. Hello.
Gato. Mr.
I think we left off right as we were about to fight something. I feel that way.
So we woke up. Me and Pumpkin woke up. Ray had left to go and retrieve things from his place. Me and Pumpkin didn't notice him right away because we were focused on Mama Swizzle's death. Unfortunately, she turned into some complete stone, and we had to leave her. And we followed the lady who was crazy into this door, and then we listened in on the gods, and all of a sudden a creature sent by that one dark knight witch, whatever her name is, that looks suspiciously like Mama Swizzle and Stony, entered the room and cut off our conversation with the gods, and now it looks like we're about to fight.
Yep, after the gods showed mercy on this old lady and healed her of her strange affliction, leaving her confused and still blind, a horrible gargoyle, twisted beyond all recognition, well, maybe not beyond all recognition because you can still recognize her as Mama Swizzle, but Mama Swizzle, but in a statue of horrible monstrosity now, is facing you all. I forget what else I said, okay? I'm just padding time at this point.
Yeah, Momo Swole.
So now this horrible encrusted form of your friend still looks at you, eyes with only the faintest spark of Mama Swizzle's life still in them, but mostly being overcome by this strange, horrible beast that has overtaken her.
Safe to say that stone thing is an enemy. But it looks like Mama Swizzle. Qzeth is conflicted, because Mama Swizzle was previously a stone. When we last left the Swizzle. Well, Qzeth's gonna free action speak. Say, Mama Swizzle, is that you? What's happened to you?
Ah!
Are you okay?
Ananias is gonna say, ah!
Yeah, Qzeth, he's not gonna, charge at it or anything. He's just gonna, ready an action to, defend Ananias, push it away, with the speary thingy. Qzeth is gonna once again free action speak and say, Mama Swizzle, if you're in there, give us a sign.
It talks! Can I hear it through the ring?
No, it doesn't appear to be speaking into the ring. Also, the rings itself that were on its encrusted arm seem to have kind of fused in deeper into the rolling stones, along with the rest of the metal that was encrusted between the cracks, and it's all seeming to congeal inward towards the center of this creature's chest. It's like a small core of purple corruption magic of some kind, as well as the metal and the stone and whatever bits of Mama Swizzle's, Rusty's, and this thing's soul that are all kind of congealing inward slowly towards the center of its chest.
So Mama Swoles would like to rip off the riding horse patch and throw it at not Ananias, QZ. Yes.
Oh. Well, okay then. Yikes. I guess I'll need to look up some... Maybe I'll do that as fall damage. I guess to make things simple, I'll just treat that as fall damage, even though it's an object being thrown with weight instead of like actual...
Wow, I could eat a whole
into
house.
An object, but we'll just say the amount of distance is like falling into a wall at a speed. Could you make a dexterity saving throw, Pumpkin?
Oh, well, I guess it's a 0. I failed at rolling. No, I rolled a 10. Plus, it's a dex saving throw 17.
Cool. Since you succeeded, I will say it is half the damage. I just rolled a d6, so 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, but let's just round down to 2 because I'm just doing this quickly instead of actually like following official rules on this.
Can I deflect it with deflect missile?
It is a horse.
It's
It's pretty heavy.
a missile. A missile is something
but you
that
can't
is.
even lift it.
It's a
So
projectile.
heavy. Oh my gosh.
The missile knows where it is because it knows where it isn't.
It's true.
Even if this were something way smaller, like a cannonball, like or a bowling ball, something of that weight, it would still be hard for you to like catch and then deflect back using deflect missiles. But this is something that weighs like 1,000
Is there a
pounds.
limit on deflect missile? I don't think there is.
How much do horses weigh? I don't even.
Yeah,
I don't want to calculate and look up the actual. Oh.
Sorry, your turn. Reduce the damage to 0. It's just any ranged weapon attack, it says.
But it wasn't even a ranged weapon attack. He just threw a thing and it became heavier.
Deflect missile takes atomic bomb and sends it out.
Oh, it's the first move of this fight and it's already breaking my brain. Please, it's just 2 damage. It's only 2 damage. Can we just move on? I know it's not probably correct with the rules. I'm just trying to get through this particular action as quickly as possible because there's no rules for chucking a horse.
It's only 2 damage, EJ. Let him try.
Wait, you were saying it's only gonna be 2 damage as a whole horse being thrown at me?
I had you make a
That's
dexterity
the
saving throw to get out of the
unrealistic
way of it so that you wouldn't take very much damage at all, and I was just doing it based as fall damage instead of, like,
That's not very much.
impact anyway.
Alright, you know what? I won't waste the key then. It's fine. It's whatever. QZ was just he would normally throw anything back at, you know.
Yeah, but the horse
wouldn't
weighs
stand
a
for that.
literal ton. That's the problem.
They're,
It's...
like, they're tossing a horse back and forth.
Anyway, so QZ manages to barely nimbly dodge out of the way, ducking below the horse as one hoof just kind of barely clips him across the jaw, and he takes 2 damage, but the horse slams into the pillars behind him, and that's it.
QZ says that wasn't nice.
I'd like to just move close to one of the walls.
Has she tried to attack me yet? Wait, I'm
Ananias.
Ananias.
You mean QZ?
Exactly. You take my 2 damage.
She threw a horse at you, Ananias, but it only hit
Let me
Ananias. And
do
I was like,
it
what?
for you.
Eldritch Blast them?
Wow.
17 plus 5.
That hits.
18. So if 17 hit, I think 18 hit.
QZ's gonna say, Ananias, don't hurt her. What if she's still in there?
I thought you said she's dead. So we got 8D and 60. You wouldn't call someone dearie if you didn't love them.
You don't know me, Derry. How dare you?
She did 24 damage to me. This might actually go faster than you initially thought, EJ.
The old woman technically gets a turn, but seeing as she is now just a level 0 old blind woman commoner, she just kind of hobbles around and goes, Why can't I see? What's happening? Where am I? Where is my husband? Ah!
Because you're blind.
Got him. QZ's gonna... I don't want to say ready in action again. I want to actually do something. What? I don't have anything of Mama Swizzle's, do I?
No, all of Mama Swizzle's possessions still seem to be either on the creature's person, like the cloak on its neck, or in Mama Swizzle's bag, which is still hanging off of the creature.
Which I do see, I guess. QZ's gonna try and snag Mama Swizzle's bag.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna run up and just like... Is it like held on by like a string or something?
It's held on by a leather strap, like the typical backpack strap type thing, which is around the creature's either neck or arm or something. Doesn't really matter. Okay. So yeah, you could just try to muscle it off, or you could try to cut it or something.
QZ's gonna run up, like do a quick slice and like grab it. Here's what's gonna happen. He's gonna run up, kind of like slide in. Slice it with, like, he's gonna hold the back of the javelin, slice it so it starts falling as he's sliding. He's gonna grab it and then, like, dash away so that he can, like, rifle through it to see if there's anything.
Do I get opportunity?
Yeah, you'll get a chance to contest Ray, but first, are you... so it's a javelin. That's not really a good slicing mechanism. It's more of a piercing, pointy... I'd imagine it as, like, a pointy stick.
So I always thought that, like, the javelin kind of, like, had, like, a blade on one side and then it was like pointed on the top, but I guess that's not exactly a javelin. That's more of like a pike,
a spear,
I guess.
A pike or halberd or something like that. Yeah,
I think he's just gonna try and like, oh, you know what, I'll use my talons to just
yeah, that works. Cool.
scratch it off.
So Ray and Pump, could you each give me conflicting dexterity or strength rolls? Pump's decision.
I get to decide, and it's dexterity.
I got a 19.
Wow. Well, I got a dirty 20. Barely.
Wow. Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, roll the 16 plus 4.
You know, since it is so close, I will say that the bag kind of gets ripped in half partially, and items go scattering out from the bag.
Especially because it's on.
So you see scattering across the ground a pink diamond that you got from the dragon horde. You see red gold go skittering across the ground everywhere. You see a couple other items hit the dirt, like an ink bottle that just kind of tinks across the stones. And let me check what else there is that I need to... A shield that kind of skitters across the ground as well, and a parchment that has some strange runes and writing on it that hits the ground as well. That's pretty much all that falls out of it for right now. And of course you do successfully hold the bag, which has a couple items left inside that you can kind of keep within without spilling everywhere.
He said he wanted to get away from me as well in the second turn.
Yeah, I wanted to ideally...
Wherever Mama Swizzle goes.
How does Mama Swizzle, like, react to me stealing this?
If you're going to try to move out of the way, like you said, I want an opportunity attack.
I think QZ could spend a key point to use a bonus action to disengage, and then he would be able to move away freely. But also, as you're taking away the bag, Mama Swizzle Gargoyle does manage to grab Mama Swizzle's scimitar, and as it looks at QZ in rage, the stones kind of roll up the scimitar, kind of transforming it and encrusting over it, transforming it into a large studded axe with large pointy rocks kind of embedded across it, and it wields it menacingly at you as it glares at QZ in fury.
I guess I have so many. I'll use a key point to disengage, yeah. Back towards Ananias. And like emotionally, did that get anything out of Mama Swizzle?
You can see she's angry.
She was angry before, though.
Well, before she was laughing at you. Now she's angry.
Interesting.
No, that's her when she's laughing. When she's angry, she'll chuck a house.
I'd like to go grab that scroll that landed on the ground, and I will use it.
Okay, Moma Swoles goes over to the fallen piece of parchment with strange runes etched across its face, and seems to have her purple eyes glow with some otherworldly magical knowledge beyond the beastly form that she currently resides as, and she quickly pulls out the scroll and seems to speak some horrible, strange pronunciations of magical words that vibrate the weave and your eyes can feel, and it triggers some glow that spreads across the runes and burns the paper into 1,000 tiny shards of ash, and a crackling electricity springs forth from the page as Mama Swizzle lunges out her clawed hand, and a bolt of lightning zaps across the ground, crumbling the stones as it arcs of electricity zap across the pillars and the cobblestone ground, and then slam into both Ananias and Qzeth.
Okay, so her chanting sounds like... and...
Amen.
And when she thrust her claws out, a huge amount of electricity just burst out, covering a fairly large foot line, 5 wide radius. You all need to do a dex save of 13.
Okay. Uh-oh. Let's see if mine's saved.
19. I rolled a 12.
Okay, I rolled a 5 plus 3. I don't make it.
Give me a second. I gotta calculate this real quick.
What type of attack is this? Because
It's lightning bolt.
enough. If Qzeth was close enough to Ananias, he might have grabbed her.
So, Ananias,
Ananias,
you take 36 damage.
Oh, I'm more than half dead.
And
bloodied.
QZ takes half of that.
No.
No, I already took nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Qzeth's just leveled up and he has an evasion ability which allows him to, if he's taking a dexterity save for half damage, he can instead take no damage. It's just a monk feature, I guess.
Okay.
Cool, guys. I'm on 16 HP.
Oh, fun.
And he screams, Ananias! It echoes.
So,
with
do I have to
lightning
wait for my
cracks.
turn to Hellish Rebuke?
Nope, it's a reaction, so it can happen immediately, I think. Although, does it work on ranged attacks, or does it only work on the melee? I can't really remember how it works.
You point your finger and the creature that damaged you is momentarily surrounded by hellish flames. The creature must make a dexterity saving throw. It takes 2d10 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much. But at higher levels, it'll increase by 1d10. So I'm trying to cast it at a 4th level.
I rolled
Follow-up
a
question,
14.
though. Do you rebuke your hell?
Okay, let me roll and I'll let you know. So 32 damage.
Alright, as the embers of sparks are still lingering in the air and dissolving, Ananias points angrily at Mama Swizzle, and a burst of flames kind of whirls around her, and the intense heat begins to crack the already splintered stones that form Mama Swizzle's body, and a large crack kind of spreads across her center of her form and spirals out with many spiderwebbing cracks, like a terracotta pot that's been heated too much.
Awesome.
I am technically bloodied.
I can only imagine she lets loose another cry of fury and pain as the flames engulf her. Now that reaction was still technically on your turn, Mama Swizzle. Do you want to use any movement or bonus action or anything?
Yeah, let's change the battle environment. I'm going to use my knowledge, and I'm going to slide through the door, and I'm going to send you what I'm talking about.
Okay, so Mama Swizzle runs through the door out of the ancient shrine that you guys are in, and back into the dilapidated mansion with still a hole in the wooden ceiling that reveals nighttime, whereas it was morning when you guys entered this place from the meadow beyond. And you still see this hallway of many, many doors. And apparently Mama Swizzle has some unknown knowledge to them granted by the Raven Queen about what exactly this place is and the magical properties it possesses.
I would like to go through it myself, but I'd like to make it cracked. I'm going to slightly shut it behind me.
So, Mama Swizzle goes into the hallway of many doors and opens another one just across the hall. Ananias and Qzeth can't quite see line of sight to what is on the other door, but you did see a faint red glow of some kind, leaving it partially cracked as she disappears into the world beyond.
I think I heard it! It's running away!
Yeah, it's still making some like animalistic, horrifying noises as it digs its claws into the ground, leaving deep grooves across the stones and the wood as it's kind of skittering away from you like a all-fours beast. What do you guys want to do now?
Can I peek through the door?
I completely forgot Ananias is a cautious type.
So, Ananias, you make your way back out of the shrine into the mansion and peek through the crack in the door, and what you see beyond in the red glow of the door that Mama Swizzle has opened is not just another room of this wooden mansion, but appears to be an entirely different area. You see a red lava flow, just a volcanic area with ash and dust kind of putrefying the air and raining down upon the world, and there appears to be a large hellish tower built from black stone in that area of a dark, kind of creepy, weird looking forest. It doesn't look like a very kind environment, but you don't see Mama Swizzle right outside the crack of the door.
I would like to... Okay.
Oh no, she's smiling. Oh no, I like it, but I'm scared.
I would like to shut the door and then destroy it.
Huh. Destroy the door itself? How? Are you using like a sword to smash it, or like knocking out its hinges, or what?
No, I have my staff on me, so I'm gonna stab the door with all my force, kind of like how I stabbed the ground whenever I created that huge earthquake by interacting with the weave.
Ah, yes, that works. Alright. So relying on both your training from the Wanderer and what you've figured out about how the weave seems to react to your particular actions, you take the piece of weave that you managed to snap off and you dig this magical enchanted rod into the door as hard as you can, attempting to disrupt the very nature of how this magical area works, and it immediately reacts, digging deep cracks into this door and causing the magical fabric of this world to begin to tear apart a little bit. Could you roll me a D100?
Yes, I'd love to roll you a D100. That is my favorite thing to do. Are you ready, EJ?
Oh, never am.
I have a question for the DM. When you do in your D100s, do you have 100 different things or 10 different things to choose from?
Yeah, of course it's 100 different things. Why would I have a chart for a D100 if I'm
Otherwise, just
only
roll
going to
a
have
D10,
like
yeah.
10 different things?
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? 43.
As your staff pours magical energy into the wall, cracking it from the inside out, you see this wooden door kind of splinter and explode outward into 1,000 splinters, as though you've basically pulverized this old and rotting wood, and it rains down upon you, leaving nothing of the door that once was there, and the cracks continue outward beyond the door frame and along the wall itself. What you see beyond where the door was is just an old, dilapidated wooden room of the mansion, seeming as innocuous as any other room of the mansion. But as the cracks continue spreading outward, crackling with some kind of strange energy, you begin to hear something moving within the walls, and then out of the cracks that you've formed in the walls, a skeletal hand shoots out, and then another hand shoots out, and then another with flesh still clinging to the old bones. 3 skeletons and 2 zombies begin to kind of crawl out of the wall, crumbling bricks and stone and mortar away as they kind of emerge from this old and dilapidated mansion. They growl angrily at anything they can see as they begin to reconstitute themselves and clank into existence.
My friends! I have summoned thee!
Meanwhile, Ray, you had gone through this door into the volcanic wasteland where there is a old tower and a mysterious forest surrounded by volcanic activity, and you are waiting, crouched right outside a wooden door that has appeared similar to the door that was just floating in the middle of the meadow. But as you're waiting outside this door, to ambush whoever comes through it, you suddenly see the door in a flash of light disappear, and there is no trace left of it, leaving you stranded in the middle of this location far away, and more or less cutting off your access back to the mansion where Ananias and Cusieth are. So that more or less ends the fight.
Dang it.
Is it Timbuktu land? Hooray! It's
I
so
was not
fun.
expecting that either.
Or at least, it ends the fight for Ray, but Ananias and Cusieth still have some skeletons and zombies to face. Not how I expected this to go, but very interesting. And interesting in another way is that this thing is not yet taken care of, and now lies in wait in a distant location.
Interesting.
I'm gonna back away from this door with the remainder of my movement and get back to QZ.
Cusieth would probably run to you very quickly soon as well. And he's gonna be like, what in the world is that?
I don't understand what's happening. Why can't I see? Who are you?
You're blind. I already
Like
told
a
you.
woman.
What's going on? Oh,
I don't know. What did you do? Stab yourself with
You
a
were
fork?
probably born that way. Get better.
When I broke that door, a bunch of skeletons started crawling out of the wall.
This isn't Mama Swizzle. Why couldn't she
Oh,
just
that's
be
what
left
you were
to her own
ta-
peace?
Mama Swizzle? I thought you were talking about the door.
Well, I assume that was whatever this beast's doing is.
So you think it's not Mama Swizzle? Because you said it was at first.
It just looked like her. It's using her body. It's disgusting. No respect. Whatever this demon is, we will destroy it. That's what we'll do. That's how we'll honor Mama Swizzle.
I kind of, we can't get to it. It's kind of lost.
Cusieth is going to look at the old woman, run up to her, and like kind of grab her, and hold like the javelin to her cheek.
She is still blind, so
Wow.
she cannot see it unless you're making contact with her actual cheek. There's still like skin kind of grown over her eyes, so she has no idea.
Yeah, just close. I'm not actually trying to hurt her at all. Well, whatever that thing is, it's here for her. So, if it wants her, come get her. Or else, maybe I'll do something.
I don't understand what's happening. I want to go back to my husband.
Your husband's gone.
Gone? What do you mean?
I don't know. I've never met him.
I just don't understand. I was with him
Fair.
moments ago, and then all of this.
You're in a place. Also, there's skeletons coming towards us.
Oh, good heavens! Please help me.
That's not gonna work. Cusieth kind of like lets her go. I don't know. He's gonna ready an action to defend his ground again.
Can I open the doors and look through them one by one? That's how. But to go out in the hallway, that's how we got in here, right?
Yes, in the mansion hallway there was a door that leads back to the meadow where you first entered from.
Is there another door in this room? that I
No,
can see?
not in the shrine that you guys are currently in, but in the main mansion area where there's a whole hallway of doors. Yes, there are many doors in this kind of dilapidated hallway. So you can choose from any of the doors that are currently closed.
Awesome. Come with me. I grab the old lady and QZeth, and we go out into the hallway, and if we can avoid the creatures, we do, and we run to one of the doors.
Cusieth will kind of like just run alongside you and like fend off the creatures for you so that you don't have to worry about it. You can just kind of guide the old woman.
Awesome. I open up a door that's not broken. What do I see in it?
Okay, what would you say you're seeking as you're opening this door?
If another room you do seek, open door.
Oh, I'm
I
running.
can come up with
But,
one.
I mean, if I end up somewhere where the doctor is nearby, I wouldn't complain.
Huh. Well, okay, well that's from a metagaming perspective, but I'm trying to ask more like, what would Ananias be like? What would...
I'm just letting you know.
Ray was the one who activated this, so like...
Okay, you know, since your character is wanting to escape, and you were intending to, just get back to Lunimus, that was your original where you wanted to go, as you open the door, you do suddenly see a small room that appears to contain a bed, a window with a view of Lunimus, and the doctor working at a workbench.
What?
What?
Oh, so that roll was just for whatever you wanted at the time.
No, I asked for the D100 roll if she wasn't thinking of any particular place that she wanted to go, or if she was just opening the door blind. But if she had any place in mind that she thought it might go to, or even an inkling, then this would have been the result. Especially if she wanted to get back to Lunimus and find the doctor.
Yuzi like looked in there and was like, "You untied my knot."
And as you're gazing into this room where the doctor is, an arrow comes flying overhead from behind you.
Yuzi catches it.
Oh, yes, absolutely, you could do that.
Without breaking gaze. Yeah, I'll spend a key point if I need to.
Yeah, that's how it works. Do it.
You untied my rope.
Oh, you got inspiration. That's adorable.
Yeah, it counts as a reaction.
Ananias gasps and slams the door shut.
You just completely undid, regrouping. Ananias.
No, we were all inside.
Oh, we walked inside. Okay.
I was worried that she saw my face and just decided, nope.
Yeah, I just closed the door. It's like, I don't like you.
Yeah, so as you close the door behind you, the door disappears in another little flash of light and is gone, leaving you past all of the security of the entire city and now just standing in the doctor's room with a nice high-rise view of the city. You are now standing in the doctor's room with this blind woman.
Uh-oh. That means that there's something going on in Lunimus.
Uh-oh.
If there's security
my
measures
trap
that
card.
are abnormal.
I'm sorry I left it on the floor. How impolite of me.
I was tinkering with my CADs, getting ready to help out with the army and all that, see if I can help defend Lunimus. And then these guys coming through my door, I'm like, not you again!
Kuzith acting like he understands magic is just gonna be like, he's gonna like take the arrow and like point it at the doctor and say, "See, you can't get away from us that easy."
I'm a very powerful wizard. I nod in agreement.
Are we still under attack by skeletons? What is going on? Are we alright?
Ignore those. Don't listen to her. She's crazy. There were no skeletons.
I cured her of her rhyming ailment.
True.
Well, that's nice of you. But why bring her here? I already gave her candles.
Candles? What candles?
No. She's crazy. Don't listen to her.
No, he was the one who said candles.
Crazy? I was crazy once. I was in a room with candles. Candles make me crazy.
Okay, well, whatever. Did you go through the security? I had to go through the security.
I am security.
Can someone please just explain to me why everything hurts all of a sudden?
Go take a nap. You'll wake up and just take a nap in the corner. You'll wake up and everything will be right.
Where's the corner?
That QZ's.
You point? She can't see.
The doctor takes her hand gently and leads her to his bed.
He's so sweet.
It's all a dream. You'll wake up and it'll be fine.
She curls up and begins sobbing softly as she's just a confused, poor old woman.
I think we need to get her to a mind shaman.
Get thee to a nunnery.
A mental health professional.
Seeing that the doctor's no longer trying to run away, he's gonna
We're in his house.
Yeah, but he's not trying to get rid of us or anything. He's gonna kind of less tension. You'd be less tense, you know. He's gonna drop the arrow, and begin to look through Mama Swizzle's stuff the rest of the way.
I look out the window. Do I recognize we're in Lunimus, by the way?
Yep, you do.
Okay.
Also, Kuzith, you're still holding the remains of the pack of Mama Swizzle, and there's still like red gold kind of pouring out of it as you move it around. Inside, you find several items that Mama Swizzle used to have, like a bedroll, some standard adventuring supplies, a torch, tinderbox, a wooden staff, a couple other items, including the moon blade hilt. So it's just like a magical hilt of a sword that can be extended.
Yuzith notices a hilt, and he's like, why would she keep this broken thing? So all of Mama Swizzle's magic items fell out on the floor.
What's the cloak? Has she always had that?
She's had it since we defeated the dragon.
Mama Swizzle just doesn't like to help us.
She wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah.
You probably hinted at it, but I'm...
Well, nobody ever tries experimenting with the magic stuff I give them.
Oh, hush you. You know one person does.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna ask, Dr. Man, what do you mean security?
We're at Lunamis, and there is a war about to brew outside. Now, if you excuse me, I've been hired to help out with making them survive, he says as he's nervously gathering all his stuff into his bag.
Qzith would know about the Carmen situation. Or
War?
Yes,
why?
a war. Some mercenary people got full of themselves and decided to attack Lunamis, and, well, I'm on Lunamis's side because this is a great place for my research.
Oh no. Do I remember, because I hear from Carmen that she told me that if she doesn't find the prince, a war is going to happen with the neighboring kingdom, right?
Yeah, she probably would have informed you a bit about that whole situation. The fact that there's issues going on with the neighboring kingdom, and they might be responsible for the prince's disappearance.
Would
and
Qzith be at all aware of like the Lunamis situation with Carmen, of like Carmen needing to report every now, or if like Carmen's alive or whatever, the king's alive, the protection thing that Carmen has with the prince?
Yes, you might know about it, because she definitely told me, but maybe that was while we were on our.
I don't remember if it was told to Qzith.
It was on our journey together. It was after, so you weren't there for that, because you've only met her the first day, basically.
Yeah, because Qzith would have been asking if you knew. Yeah,
no, I recognize that this is a problem, and I realize that I have something to do with it.
Ananias, what's wrong? You have a 1,000-mile gaze.
How can you see through my cloak?
I guess, yeah, no, you went full sus mode. So yeah.
I went full sus mode to greet the gods, man.
Yeah. Okay,
if you're
Qzith
ever
doesn't notice anything's wrong. He just says, Ananias, why are you so worried about this war? I mean, besides it being war, I suppose.
I think I just need to talk to someone. I think I need to talk to Carmen's sister. She lives in the castle, right?
In the palace, yeah.
How can I get into the palace?
Well, perhaps you could come with me, since I am going to the palace here shortly.
Oh, wonderful.
I don't know if we should... You are a strange man, Doctor. If it's
you
all
can
right
call
with
me
you,
Dr. Lacage.
If it's all right with you, Qzith completely ignores that. Take me with Ananias. I don't want to leave her alone, even in this city that she might have been in for a while. Seems to have some familiarity with.
And Doctor, have we formally introduced ourselves?
You never formally introduced yourselves. You were always so shady after you tied me up.
Well, you were being shady first. She points at him and realizes her fingers are still invisible. So
Literal
her hand
shade.
just raises up.
Literal
it's just
shade.
Like, sweater part, like.
Qzith butts in and says, I don't care who was shady first, I just care who was shady last.
And
My
who
name
was
is
that?
Qzith.
Wait, was it himself?
He says, he introduces himself to the doctor.
Pleasure to meet you, he says as he puts the last item in his bag and slings it across his shoulder.
Me and Ananias have been through a lot, needless to
Whoa,
say.
whoa, 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 whoa.
But if you're fighting for
name-
Lunamis,
Is Carmen.
Oh boy. No.
The name is Carmen.
You're gonna try to impersonate her? Oh, why?
Anna.
Oh,
Yeah,
whoa.
but she's
How
trying to
are
stop
we gonna
the
prove
war.
the king is alive? Exactly.
Oh boy, this is actually the first time the changeling powers are actually gonna be like used for a relevant purpose. I'm so proud.
Which is it, Ananias or Carmen?
It's also Val. I have multiple names.
What?
I see.
QZ's gonna pull Ananias aside and say, "What? Why are you taking Carmen's name?"
If Carmen is dead, that means the king is dead, and I might have accidentally magicked her away. But she's not dead, but nobody else knows that.
What? How can you be certain she isn't dead?
Because I magicked her to safety whenever she was in danger.
Do I
she
hear
just
any of this?
disappeared.
You could roll perception and they could roll stealth if they're trying to keep it quiet.
Yeah,
we're
trying to
talking
keep it
very
secret.
quietly.
All right,
I mean,
let's do that.
QZ, I think QZ full pulls her out of the room.
You can't, the door's locked. You're currently all locked in.
Dang it.
Okay, so we're like a few feet away. I'm gonna roll stealth. I have a pretty high stealth though.
Well, it doesn't matter. I did a nat one.
Awesome.
You just figure like, it's whatever. They're just talking. You just
Like as he swings his bag over his shoulder, a cat activates and suddenly smokes everywhere.
So I'm worried that they think the king is dead. That's gonna cause a war. But if I
Anonymous,
assure them,
if you magicked her away, magic her back.
I don't know how.
How do you know she's not dead?
I could just tell. I think.
I mean, I guess to stop a war, QZ says a little bit too loudly.
We might need to find the prince though if this doesn't work. This is something Carmen really cared about, and I want to make sure it comes true and it happens. She wants her sister to be safe.
QZ's gotten enough of the conversation. He realizes that stopping a war is pretty important. And he's like, yes, doctor, this is Carmen, or Ananias. You know, she goes by a lot of names with me. Just eventually pals stuff.
Pull down my hood, and I look like Val.
Like Val, you say?
Which is as close to Carmen as I've gotten previously.
Why don't you try harder?
I will try harder later. Right now, it's just the three of us. Okay.
Okay. You don't want to put too much energy.
I look so
This is
close.
like a good test run.
I'm not making everything perfect because it's a lot of work. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta have two whole different eye colors. That's just a mess.
Yeah. Wait, I forgot about that.
Yep. That's a dead giveaway to anyone who knows her and is looking closely.
Dang it. Okay. I'll do that.
You'll do the two different eyes then? For Val?
Okay, I'm gonna look as most like Carmen as I can, but I don't know. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna while I'm over with QZ, I'm gonna pull down my hood. I'm gonna show me. I'm gonna look like Val. How do I look?
You definitely look like I mean, there's some details off, I guess.
What's missing? What's going on? What's wrong? I need to know.
Your eyes?
What's wrong with my eyes?
The colors.
What color should they be? I changed them to green, both of them. And back
Is
to
that the
blue.
right color for Carmen's eyes? I can't remember.
You're gonna have to tell me. I don't know.
I'm asking EJ. I can't remember as a person. I'm sure that QZ would remember.
Part of me wants to just let you guys flounder and see if you can remember
I
out for
think it's-
yourselves.
Why
You have
wouldn't
to tell
QZ
me.
remember what color her eyes were? I mean, I guess it's not a detail
No,
you
it's-
pay that much attention to.
Come on.
I guess so.
What did she look like? Just tell me what
I
looks
don't-
off.
We might have to find a picture of her or something. I'm sure if she's the royal guard, they'll have some drawing or painting. We can reference that. It's good enough for now.
Okay. I'm gonna put my hood back up. Wait! I think I have something. I'm gonna pull out the drawing. I'm gonna show it to QZ real quick. I'll be like, are any of my facial features not correct?
Why don't you just look at the picture?
I can't see myself!
What? Can we... I don't think that it's best to do this when the doctor's around.
We both look back at the doctor. What's he doing?
Yuzith had already full addressed the doctor again.
He's just on his way to the door now. If you guys are in the way, he's just going to make his way between you two, and then he knocks on the door. I'm ready to go meet the captain so I can get this underway.
Well,
Okay, I put the picture back in my
bring
pocket.
her with you, and I'll follow alongside. Make sure nothing else goes wrong. Also, probably be important to let somebody know about the old lady and potentially get her some, medical need.
I don't want to do the voices for all these characters, but basically, let's skip ahead a bit. So the guard came to the door and was like, wait, why are there multiple people in there? Weren't you supposed to be locked in? I'm gonna go get some backup. And then 4 guards came back to the door after a little bit.
I have some company that'll be following me.
We're
Yes.
friends, don't worry. QZ's gonna, grab the doctor, by the shoulder and say, I swear if you gave them a secret code to rat us out...
It's your fault for coming through a portal. Remember, I'm in a locked room. I'm not allowed to leave without permission.
Did you tell them something in code?
No.
QZ's gonna be satisfied with that and, push him back to where he was.
Ugh, I'm never gonna remember everything I described. But basically, the door bursts open again, and 4 Luminous guards come in, fully dressed in their garb of gold and
Easy
silver
salutes.
stuff, and with helmets and all that, and they have their spears, and they're looking at everyone like, what the heck? How are there extra people in here? Who's this old lady in the bed? Where'd she come from?
Easy
Why is there a
sleeving.
bird man? I'm so confused.
Who does he say it to?
Eddie,
QZ's
soldier.
Thank you. We've been fighting hard to get here, and we are on the doctor's side. We're friends of his, drafted to help with the war efforts, but beyond that, someone who, the captain might like to know about. And QZ's gonna kind of gesture over to Carmen.
Oh no.
Okay, go ahead and roll me deception, and I'm gonna see if this person happens to be intimately familiar with her.
Does the doctor know who Carmen is trying to portray?
Probably not. It's very unlikely that the doctor would have ever met Carmen in the past or interacted with her, because there's not really much of a need for them to have interacted in the past. It's possible they've passed, but not, have a conversation.
Okay.
Alright, I will reveal myself. My character does not remember that Carmen has 2 different colored eyes. Because she has never noticed that. So that's why she's going to have to find a photo. And QZ did not mention that to her when she asked, is there anything wrong about this? And he couldn't remember that she had 2 different colored eyes.
Yeah.
So
He just
that-
remembered something about the eyes.
I will look exactly like Carmen, everything except for the eyes. Understood?
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see if that works out.
And I'm concerned about this.
So am I.
I would like to reveal myself and roll deception.
As she does that, the doctor's just standing there, tall, looking up as if nothing's important right now.
Okay, I can roll. I'm terrified. Let me pull up my sheet real quick before I roll, guys. Here's the die. I'm gonna die. Deception, I have a +5 too. Because my character is the most charismatic. 17 + 5.
Alright. So,
pretty good sounding.
as you decide
But
to
what
pull your
in
hood
total
back and
is that,
reveal your
Cat?
face looking like Carmen, the guard goes, "Hey, Carmen! It's been a while. Where have you been? We've been looking for you." And he kind of comes
thank
forward
goodness.
and gives you a quick hug.
She lets out a sigh of relief and
QZ,
pats him.
And then he kind of pulls you down and tries to like noogie your head. I assume you might want to resist this in some way, as Carmen might.
She's Ananias, Carmen. Carmen is going to duck a little out of the way and be like, "No, man. It's so good to see you too. I have
QZ's
so
gonna-
much to tell, but I really think it's
QC's
important."
gonna butt into the conversation so that Ananias doesn't have to act too much and say, also, we have an old lady who kind of needs some medical assistance. If you could run and grab some.
I want to speak to my sister.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you don't need my permission to talk to your sister. Okay. Although, to be fair, I guess we do have new security measures in place around here to make sure that everything is secure with the war and everything, making sure everyone is who they say they are.
Do I have to go through it again? I'm late for an appointment.
QC says, we came here with the doctor. Like, we're his assistants. Why would we need to go through this again?
I at least really need to know how you got into this closed room to begin with.
You know what, Carmen? Why don't you go to your sister and I'll explain it to this guy here.
Ugh, because the doctor's already been verified and Carmen speaks for herself. Yeah, fine. Go ahead. This is such a disaster.
I'll tell you anything
so
that you
much.
need. I'll give you all the information on us.
Thank you so much. And I look at, does he have a name tag or anything on him? Any letter? And then I just don't say his name. I'm like, thank you so much. Bye.
But purposely leaves in the space where you would say the name. Thank you so much. Bye.
I mean, you don't always say the name of someone, even if you both know each other's names.
Most people never say names.
So if I am excused, I will be late, and my servant is coming with me.
Yes, fine. You can make it to your meeting. So this bird man is with you?
Yes, he is one of my servants.
QZ, like, hisses a little bit. He does a goose hiss.
I mean, you're the one who said you were his servant. He's just playing off of it.
Assistant!
Oh, okay.
I have
Well,
never said servant.
To him, assistant and servant's the same thing.
The doctor's supposed to be smart.
Oh, he is, but he's also very egotistical.
Anyways, yes, the captain of the guard is waiting for you, and Lady Lillian happens to be free as well at this time slot. She is available to meet with you as well. But I really must insist that I understand how you got all into this room out of nowhere.
I mean, it was magic, bud. I get confused by it as well. I get confused by it as well. But it was magic.
We had a wizard. We had a wizard take us here. We had a wizard teleport us here. I was trying my best to get into the center of Lunimus, and we must have missed our coordinates by a bit.
Ah, yes, freaking wizards.
Now you're
man.
throwing off my eyes.
That checks out. That sounds pretty accurate. All right, well, go ahead and get out here then.
Okay, thank you.
Make the report. And what do I need to know about this old lady?
Oh, she was previously cursed, but now she's okay. She just forgot everything.
You adventuring types, man. Every time. And the guard goes ahead and lets you all go.
Come, assistant. I have a meeting to get to.
I'm gonna separate and go find
the proper title this time.
I'm gonna separate and go find my sister. Sounds good, EJ? Okay. You can go continue with theirs for now if you want. Either way.
Well, you are all going to the same place at this point, because the doctor said he wanted to have a meeting at the palace, and you're also going to meet your sister at the palace.
I think we're going separate ways. I'm going to follow the doctor.
we'll go together for a bit.
Voiceover EJ here again. I'm not gonna bother describing everything I went through as far as them getting through the city and having some people draw their eye to the strange doctor dressed in lab coat and the Qzeth dressed in like tattered monk robes with the bird wings and all that. It definitely draws some attention, but it, that when they see Carmen, they recognize her and they're not like that concerned. So they are mostly left alone as they get out of this building and head towards the palace from afar. But then they come across 6 guards that are blocking the entrance. It seems that the security is rather tight around that area, and they're constantly vigilant. And they call out and say, "Halt!" as they're approaching.
Me and my friend Carmen here request access to the palace. I must go to meet with the captain of the guard, for he has a will to hire me against this threat.
Ah, Dr. Lacage, yes, we were expecting you. We weren't expecting the assistant, but I guess that's fine.
I'm scared.
Just deceive.
Okay, 14 plus 5. That's a 19.
I ask about the invisible arms here and ask if there was some way to hide them. Isabella also later asks about it, but I don't feel like trying to remember when.
My arms are purposely crossed, but my posture is upright. Well, yeah.
Carmen, it's really good to see you. We've been concerned. Lady Lillian has been worried sick since your absence. Where on earth were you, and when did you get back?
It's a long story. I really am trying to get to my sister and then immediately speak to the guards.
Very well. Carmen, go ahead. You know the way. Dr. Lacage and Mr. Assistant Person, please stay with us. We will escort you. We have tightened security, so please do not wander off.
I'm going to go up to the room that she's in, or she lives in. Is she there? I knock on the door.
Carmen's mom answers the door and goes immediately, "Oh, Val! Oh, wow, it's so good to see you." But then her voice kind of turns to concern and she's like, "Have you seen Carmen? Last I knew she was with you." And her expression kind of turns grave.
No, she sent me, but I do have to speak to her sister. She sent me for information.
Information from Isabella? Okay. A little bit suspicious and confusing, but the mom was just kind of like, "Okay, is she okay?" And, kind of relaxes as Val's like, "Yeah, she's fine." And yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit tense, just a little bit feeling like there's not truth going on. But yeah, it's just a mother's intuition. The mother calls Isabella down the stairs, who comes down with a sketchbook in an arm and immediately recognizes Val and goes over to give her a big hug.
I hug her tightly.
During or after the pull away, Isabella kind of asks, like, whoa, what the heck happened to your arms? What? They're invisible.
Ah, yes, I too see the hands of the person who's hugging me when they are hugging me.
Oh, it's a long story, but I have to tell you all of it. I think there might be a way to stop this war before it starts, but I might also need your help. And there's a situation with Carmen.
Situation? She once again seems to get a little suspicious.
In order to protect her, and she allowed me to, by the way,
Press X to doubt.
I performed a spell on her, that I can't undo right now, because it keeps her safe. And she's kind of like in a holding place, and the deity which I called upon to hold her there isn't ready to give her back yet, because they think that she is distracting me from my purpose because I care about her, or that's what was said. But listen, she's alive. She's alive. She's just not able to make it back to Lunamis, I explained.
She's in magic jail.
At this point, I explained, just because Light is not around to play the character Carmen, she's not permanently stuck in disappeared jail forever. I talked to Light about it, and she said that she was wanting her character to be still around doing things in the background, even if she's not with the party. So It's okay if you want to ask the Wanderer to un-Thanos snap her for now, and like you don't have to metagame and be like, ah, yes, it's not going to happen because Light's not back to play the character. You can ask the Wanderer like your character might if you want to. It's not a requirement that you have to like pay attention to the fact that she's not going to be here. I don't remember exactly what I said. Something like that.
Oh, awesome. In that case, I'll be like, yeah, we can't find Carmen. She's missing. Yes, have you heard anything from her?
No, we've tried to contact her many times, but we can't get a hold of her. She's not responding on the sending stone.
Yeah, I do need your help, I think, to find her. If you know of any way to do that. But in the meantime, I think the kingdom needs to know that she's okay, otherwise they'll start a war.
Well, from what I've heard from, lurking through the corridors of the palace, I kind of pick up things that I'm not supposed to hear. It sounds like the war has already been declared. I don't know if Carmen returning is going to be enough to stop that, but I mean, I'm not a war general. I'm just a magic student.
What do you think we can do, or Val will say?
Well, last I heard, I thought they sent Carmen to go try to negotiate peace with Dirth, but then Carmen disappeared, and you did, of course. So maybe they never actually got a peace talk to go through. I know that there hasn't really been much peaceful negotiation. It's just been escalation after escalation. So I don't know what we can do, but because I don't know anything, and I don't know if anyone knows anything about what Dirth actually wants or what they're planning. It's just been demands and creepy threats.
Okay, that's good to know. You have a sending stone? Can you explain to me how to use that?
A sending stone is enchanted with some standard spells that allow it to contact the pair, the other person who has it, and they will hear a magical message in their mind, like if you've cast the sending spell. But the spell is basically kind of contained within the stone, so you don't have to focus on actually casting it. It makes it a lot more convenient and stuff.
Do you mind if I give it a try?
Well, Lady Lillian has already tried to contact Carmen many times, and Mom and I have tried to contact her several times as well after that, but she doesn't pick up. And it's not like she's not having the stone anymore. You can kind of tell if there's no one on the other end to hear the message, but it's just like the sending stone is disconnected. There's no response at all. But by all means, feel free to give it a try.
Okay, I say to the stone, in 25 words. Also speaking out loud, hoping the Wanderer hears me. I really...
While Kat was typing her 25-word message using the sending spell, I went back to Qzith and the doctor, who were being escorted through the palace to the war room.
Qzith's gonna talk to the doctor as we go. He's gonna, like, in a whispered voice that this other guy leading us can't exactly hear. He's gonna say, "Now, I appreciate it, but what's convinced you to so easily help us?"
I am not helping you. I've already promised these people to help them. However, having random people in my room just made things a little harder.
Hart, you could have just ratted us out. I don't see why you didn't choose to.
I may think myself as one of the best people in the world, but I am not a monster.
Most of the time.
Well, I appreciate it. So, what about this war do you know? What started it?
What was it again? Mercenaries from where again?
You don't know much yet, but I can't remember what you learned last session, but I think you heard that the kingdom to the south, the Weapons Guild, the Kingdom of Dirth, is picking a fight, and the people of Lunimus are kind of treating it casually a little bit, like, oh, these people could never defeat us in a fight, this shouldn't be a big deal, but maybe they're wrong.
I relayed that to Qzith.
Okay. Now, how invested in this war are you?
It depends on how much they pay me.
Well, surely they're gonna give you something for coming out here for all your troubles.
I am willing to protect this kingdom, but not to the point that it runs me out of pocket.
I don't know what more Kuzith has to say to him.
I really hope you're okay, Carmen. Get back to me soon? I'm at Lunimus. I want you to be here with me and your sister. Come meet us. But the last 5 words get cut off, so that is your sister come meet us is cut off, basically.
You speak into the sending stone, and then you hold it, and you wait for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. There seems to be no response. No response at all. Isabella kind of shakes her head sadly and is like, yeah, that's about what I expected. About what we've been dealing with. I hope she's okay.
Can I try it again?
Isabella has no complaints with that.
I'm wondering where you are. I expect to see you tonight. Regroup with us. In Lunimus. That's all.
Once again, you hold the stone, and after a little bit, there's 0 response back. Isabella seems a little confused by her message, but still shakes her head sadly.
She's not replying to us. I'm sure. I'm sure she's fine. I've got to get in contact with her somehow.
You see in the corner behind Isabella, just in the shadows, a tiny little smile, like a Cheshire cat, like the smile in the eyes, and then they kind of slip away, melting into the shadows, and that's it.
That's cute.
There was a bunch more conversation between Ananias and Isabella, but I really don't remember what she said, so I guess it's lost for good. Sorry, I can't recreate that. I'll be back. Okay, see ya!
Is that your roommate?
No, that's my dad.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah.
Returning back to Kuzith and the doctor, who were led through the palace to the war room, they find a bunch of important things going on, with important looking people kind of muttering to each other in corners of the room, and in the center of the room there's a map table that's got a bunch of little outlines of what appear to be potential gatherings of soldiers or something, but the information seems incomplete. There's a lot of like question marks and unknown markers in the fog of war, and the faces of people around the room seem furrowed in concern. You see a lady in a pink dress standing prominently talking to the captain of the guard, judging by his well-decorated uniform with some battle scars and scrapes across the armor, and they both turn to look at you as the 4 guards escort you into the room. The captain of the guard is quick to turn to Dr. Lacage and go, Dr. Lacage, it's good to see you again.
Yes, you remembered me. That is good.
He offers a hand to shake.
I shake his hand firmly.
Oh, I see. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. So, you are the doctor that we've been hearing so much about. You're here to help us with our war problem?
Yes, I am a very good artificer. I can create just about any CAD that you may need in order to turn this war into your favor.
Forgive me, a CAD?
Casting's assistant device. So anyone without magic can use what you would consider magic.
QC's going to say, for example, I am the assistant, and here is my device. He's going to hand it to the doctor. See what happens.
You have a device?
Remember the one he picked up?
Oh yeah, the hologram. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna do the pike. But
The javelin?
yeah, the javelin.
Oh my gosh, you guys are making a mockery of this meeting. Why do I even try? Behold, I have a stick! It's pointy on the end!
No. I'm going to hand it to the doctor to do something to.
As you pull out a weapon and kind of brandish it in the war room with all the important people around, the guards immediately kind of put their hands on their swords and are like, whoa, bro, what are you doing? How? But the captain of the guard just kind of lowers his eyebrows at you and, studies you unfazed as you hand the weapon to the doctor.
At first, the doctor looks at it incredulously, and then he just takes out one of his CADs and starts tinkering to modify it to the spear and all that.
That was a tiki torch. Anyway, Lady Lillian and the captain of the guard talk a little bit more, giving some brief details about the war situation, and I really can't remember all the details they gave and what they left out and what new information was given. I don't think it was all that much new that they didn't already know, just because I wasn't quite prepared for them to get to this position. But they did discover that Lunimus is mostly geared towards protection magic, so a lot of their tech and a lot of their soldiers and gear and everything is all based on a good defense rather than a good offense. So Lady Lillian asks if the Doctor would be able or willing to bolster their defenses and their attack capabilities to attach better weapons to the outside of their mountain to defend themselves just in case it comes to that, and equip their foot soldiers with some better weaponry to cause damage to opposing forces.
Right. So I take the spear. May I demonstrate this for you?
Demonstrating a weapon in the war room with important people about is probably not the best.
Perhaps we should go out into the training field if you're fine with that.
Another time, perhaps. We have more important business to attend to at this moment.
Very well. But yes, I can offer you plenty of scorching laser beams.
Oh, sounds impressive. And for your services, might I inquire as to what level of compensation you'd be seeking?
I am expecting 100 gold a day.
At this, you can see her kind of cringe just a little bit at the thought of paying someone so much. However, she does kind of consider it for a moment and agrees to the terms, considering that the economy being stunted by a war causing trade to be interrupted would be far more of a cost than paying a artificer a little bit of gold in the moment to help them expedite the end of the war as quickly as possible. So she reluctantly and respectfully agrees to your terms. She does seem like she wants to haggle a little bit, but she seems to be willing to pay equal value for equal work.
We could also go with 50 gold a day and a discount after the war for my first large purchases here.
At this secondary suggestion, she does seem slightly relieved and is more than willing to accept that instead.
Very well, that is a deal. I carefully shake her hand.
Excellent. And what is it that you will be needing to get started at your work immediately? Will you need a workshop, I presume, and potentially some resources? Just name it and it will be done for you.
I will need a workshop, allowance of my assistant to wander about town to get me my materials I need, and give me a day or two. I should have enough weapons for you to conquer an entire country if you need.
Well, as large as those aspirations may be, I think we will want to keep our focuses on merely defense at the moment, with a good offense to counter our adversaries and their particular forte. But I appreciate the enthusiasm. These things will be done for you.
It was mere conjecture, my lady.
Ah, yes, very good. Well, there is a workshop already available, a working space across the city from here, near the main gates of the city. That may be a good location. It's close to the front lines where we will need the weapons anyway. However, it might not be large enough for the scale of work that you're intending to pursue.
That should be enough for now, as long as we have access to your weapons to modify them for you.
Oh, there is that other abandoned shrine that has not been in use for quite some time. That may have plenty of shelf space available for you, and you would be away from noise so that you would not bother other people. That might be a proper location. Headguard, would you mind inquiring as to that location, and perhaps we will set him up there? It might need a good dusting, but it should do.
Very well. And I do welcome any guards that if you need to keep an eye on us, I do not mind a little company.
I appreciate your understanding. Vote of confidence goes both ways. That is very admirable of you, good sir. We will see to it that you get everything you need, and we will have these guards escort you to your new working space as soon as we confirm that it is available and ready for your usage. It may need a key. It's been out of use for quite some time. But I very much appreciate your partnership here. I certainly hope that this will be a win-win for us both, and we will be able to avoid as much bloodshed as possible by bringing a swift end to this conflict.
Definitely. Now, if you do not mind, my lady, I have a lot of work to do.
We will conclude this meeting here and perhaps speak again later.
Good day to you, my lady. Good day to you, Captain. Does QZ have
And
it?
QZ doesn't have anything to ask.
Isabel, actually, give me 1 second. I have to go to the powder room. I go to the powder room.
As you close the door behind you in the powder room, you encounter what appears to be the Wanderer,
There's a man in the ladies' room.
but shapeshifted into a different form than usual. Instead of being a pointy-eared elf or a tousled-hair human, he appears to be a tiefling with a pointed blue tail. All his skin appears to be blue, and he almost seems to be glowing, like actually emitting a light that is bouncing off of the environment as well. He seems to be grinning slyly, and his tiefling tail flicks with anticipation as he gazes at you with eyes that now have thin slits in them now instead of pupils. He grins at you widely and comments, "Ah, lucky I happened to be paying attention to your call. Need something?"
You seem in good spirits.
Well, of course, you're keeping me happy, so I'm keeping you happy. We're all having a good time here. And he shifts his position to lazily lean against the wall, his light shimmering across his body as he moves, almost looking like bioluminescence. Of course, it's certainly not, since you're pretty sure he's immaterial of some kind. His expression then darkens a little bit. So, I seem to be hearing that you're wanting Carmen back, yes?
Indeed.
Well, I suppose I've taken her out of the fight as long as I could. She would have been potentially an inconvenience to the plans, but now, seeing how far things have progressed, I think I can afford to put her back in. So, yes, I would be more than happy to keep you happy. I just hope things go well from here on out. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the fireworks around here. And then, with a snap of his fingers, he dissolves into a shower of sparks. Instead, a blue beam of light just blasts through the roof of the ceiling. Well, obviously you can't see it blast through any farther, but the room remains intact, so it's really just kind of light and energy beaming up in the bathroom, overwhelming your senses for a moment as the bright flash kind of congeals and a bunch of particulates of blue energy of some kind seem to appear out of nothing and slowly fall into place, swirling back as pretty much the opposite of getting Thanos snapped. The little blue particulates of light kind of form back into the form of Carmen and return her to reality. She takes a gasp of air as she suddenly blinks, looking around in confusion, wobbling a little bit, but it's her. She's just as you remembered her from when you last saw her at Colville's Ash.
I scream, Carmen!
Isabella comes running to the door and is like, "Are you okay?" Meanwhile, Carmen is looking around in confusion like, is this my bathroom? What? And is just very confused.
I give her a big hug.
Carmen returns the hug and pats you, but she still seems a little confused about what's going on.
I open the door and I'll be like, I got her back! I got her back!
And there was much rejoicing and reuniting and all that.
It was all thanks to you!
I'm far too lazy to read my lips, especially when I have a hand in front of my face.
I think your stone messages worked, I say, jumping up and down with her.
It was really just a joyful reuniting. There was a three-way hug. It was very sweet. They began to explain about what was happening to Carmen, and Carmen was very confused, did not understand that any time had passed. For her, it just seemed like an instant she was at Colville's Ash, and that was the last thing she knew, and suddenly she was in a bathroom with no time having passed in between.
It's been a few days, I tell her.
And yeah, it was a good time, but I can't possibly recreate the filler dialogue more or less.
Oh, I was out for a day, so probably not good. You were good to have missed it. But you missed it. No, actually, you seem pretty okay. Just a headache.
Carmen, complaining of a headache, asks how and why exactly this has happened, that she was disappeared for a bit.
You were put under a protection spell by me. It wasn't really intentional.
Oh, you could just do that, huh? I'm gonna need some more explanation on that later, I guess.
Alright, I catch her up on what's been happening.
Nice.
Thank you for hosting the session.
Thank you.
Man, this is not how I expected the session to go. I expected that fight with the gargoyle to go a lot longer, but it just kind of got ended early.
Maybe she shouldn't have been going through random
Didn't
doors.
she run through the door? She didn't get kicked into. Well, I guess Ananias knocked her into it. No,
I did not. I didn't touch her.
No, I ran.
She ran
through
away
it.
from me.
away. She just ran away.
I was trying to lead you guys into the area.
Hopefully it was a different plane of existence.
I was a little disappointed near the end there. Well, I wanted to use the undetectable skill or whatever that is. It had hide amongst a bunch of gargoyles in that tower.
No, that was one of the things I was prepared for, but I didn't
Yes.
didn't want to reveal that to you and didn't want to give you the idea yourself.
And I was hoping that the toxic environment would weaken them for me.
Yeah, that was smart too, because you're not affected by poison. All of that was smart. Oh, I was expecting this to go a lot longer and be more of a dramatic fight, but oh well, you can't control it all. But hey, at least this monster is still around and maybe might come back someday. It's a plot thread that I can use for the future, potentially. Or maybe it'll never get used. You never know. Maybe it could be another campaign or one-shot someday.
Dr. Lacage will find immortality yet.
Maybe she liked his color. Oh, she's looking back. Well, thank y'all for playing. See you next time. Bye.